Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids with an important news video for you. We have some exciting news. Tomorrow in the game, we are going to have a double legendary event for Sacred Shards. How does this work? What happens? Well, it is very, very simple. Your chance to pull a legendary champion from Sacred Shards is not changed from the base, right? The base is still the same, but if you do successfully get a legendary champion, you get a second legendary as well for free. It does not count towards events and tournaments and all the rest, but that shouldn't matter. There's not going to be any events on at this time, so you're not double dipping in anything. It is what it is, right? You get a legendary from a Sacred Shard, you're going to get two instead of one. Simple and straightforward. Now, let us talk about whether or not you should pull. Is this a good idea or is this a trap? What will I be doing? And what should you do? Because our situations are going to be very, very different. So, yeah, let's dive into it. Oh, Joe, don't pull a shard. Whoa, it tried to pull a shard right there. Luckily, I've got no silver. Whew, that was close. I've got 31, so we're good. We are good. First of all, let me talk about me. Am I going to pull shards? Yes, I am going to be pulling during this event. Why am I going to be pulling? Very simply, I've been saving shards like crazy. I've been saving my sacreds. I do not pull in 2x events. For me now, later on in the game, I have pretty much all the epic champions. There's a couple I still want or need, but it's not a huge deal. For me, I'm really trying to maximize the amount of legendaries on my account. And I'm late game now, so, you know, I'm clearing all of Doom Tower hard. I'm clearing all of the clan boss. I'm getting as many of the free sources of Sacred Shards that are possible for me to get. What I use my Sacred Shards for, I always try to keep about 7 at all times for any fusion event. I like to have 7 so I can typically max out the Summon Rush event and skip the 2x event during fusions with 7 Sacred Shards. Watch my video on what you need for fusions if you want to get more information on that, plus all the information on all the types of events you typically see in fusions. I recommend if you're at least having 3 Sacred Shards saved up for every fusion at a minimum. It takes a lot of stress off, So always saving at least 3. For me, I like to have at least 7. On top of that, I'm trying to always have 15 Sacred Shards in the bank for guaranteed champion events. Guaranteed champion events are my favorite thing to pull for as a content creator. Reason being, a lot of people are going to get that champion because it's a guaranteed champion. It's good for me as a content creator to get that champion and be able to do videos on them. That makes a lot of sense. The nice thing about guaranteed champions, it's guaranteed. There's no gambling involved. I really like that. They don't repeat champions in that. It's always a new champion each time, so you're building up new legendaries constantly. I like that as well. Lots going for it. Now, this double legendary event, the benefit of it is that this has the highest potential for return on your shards in terms of legendaries. This can give you the most legendaries for the shards that you spend. However, it is very important to be tracking your mercy system. And the thing about sacreds is that the mercy system is really bad. It is really, really bad. So for example, with your ancient shards, and how do you track this mercy system? One of the most common questions I get, nubkeks, where can I see my mercy counter? How do I track it? You have to count it yourself. There is no in-game way to tell. You have to keep track of how many shards you've pulled since the last legendary. And if you do that, then you can game the system and you can reap rewards. If you don't want to do that, well, tough luck, basically, right? You know, it's up to you. So there you go. That's the way it is. I mean, should there be a mercy counter in the game? Yeah, of course there should be. But there isn't, and this is the reality that we have to deal with. So you put in the work and you reap the rewards, right? With Ancient Shards, after 200 without a legendary, you start to get an increasing 5% chance. So after 220, you've got a bonus 100% chance. So you are guaranteed a legendary after 220 blue or purple shards without getting a legendary. That's really good, right? That's really good. You go from at 199 shards pulled, you have no bonus, go up to 220, 100% bonus. It's a big deal. And this is why these events can be really good for that, because you can track it very, very well, right? So for example, typical advice I would give is if your 100 pulls into your mercy system, guaranteed or double legendary events for Ancient or Void become really good. You say, okay, 120 shards, I will definitely get a legendary. I'll get 2. For your Sacred, after 12 summons without a legendary, you only get a 2%, which is kind of insane. If we compare that to Ancient shards, yeah? With Ancients, we go 20 deep into our Mercy. Like we reach Mercy, we're 20 shards in, we have 100% bonus. If you do the same thing with Sacred shards, so you pull 12 without a legendary, you pull 20 more, you get to 32 summons without a legendary, you only have a 40% increase bonus. That's not very good, you know? That's not very good. By default, that's going to put you at a 46% chance at that point. Very different from that 100% chance. You can really rip through shards. And that's with a lot. That's a lot of Sacreds. Like, that's no joke. That's no joke. So the Mercy system here is weak. So this event is a gamble. This is a big gamble. It's up to you whether you're doing the gamble. So you can see why I'm doing it. I'm going to keep 15. I'm going to pull 16 shards. I'm going to be good. I'm confident I can build up enough shards for the next fusion. I'm going to gamble to get a potential good return on investment. Now, let's get a little matsy here. Let's go in. This is actually really small. Let me see if I can make this a bit bigger. Not easily. No. The answer is no. Basically, to work out your chances, I'm sorry this is so small. I'll talk you through it. It's easiest to work out your chance not to get any legendary at all. So then you can work out my chance to get at least 1, maybe more legendaries, because at least 1 is going to give you the double, right? And then you obviously stop when you get 1. So let's imagine we start from 0 things in our Mercy counter. And let's say we're like me, we're going to pull, let's keep it simple, 15 shards. So what I have is you take your chance not to get the legendary and you basically calculate it out. So we have a 94% chance, so 94 over 100 chance not to get a legendary. We've got a 6 in 100 chance to get a legendary. Excuse me. So what we'll do, I have this in 5 times and I'm just going to multiply this across. There we go. Now we've got 15 chances. This is 15 shards pull with a 6% per shard. Of course, it's slightly better than that. We go into our Mercy, we're going to get a bonus 2% chance on these last few. So, for example, we come back 1, 2. So we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is the easiest way to show it. On this one, we'd have not a 94, we'd have a 92% chance not to get a legendary. Here we'd have a 90% chance, and here we would have an 88% chance. We multiply all those by each other, and it gives me a weird old graph. Let me go sort this out. I should have tested this first, huh? I'll fix this. I'll fix it. Here we go. Okay, so there we go. I fixed it. Basically what you need to do, you need to remove the x's from the equation. I guess because the brackets themselves mean multiply by. So that keeps it more simple. So there we go. And then we multiply our answer here by 100. And basically, with 15 shards, starting with 0 pulls into Mercy, there is a 34.6% chance that you would not get a legendary. If we take 100, we minus 34.6 in this case. Well, it should really be 0.7, but it's fine. You've got a 65% chance to get at least 1 legendary. Okay, so if you come into this and you have no Mercy timer built up at all, you're going to walk away. If you pull 15 Sacred Shards, there's a 65% chance you're going to get your double legendary. There's a 35% chance you're not going to get anything. Well, you're going to get nothing. 0 legendaries, 15 epics, and you're going to be going and crying. So it's up to you. It's up to you, right? What you think. Let me actually work out my actual probabilities, and I'll tell you what my actual result is. I'll be right back. Okay, so we come in and I put in my things right here. And basically, I think I've pulled 8 Sacreds before this. I've pulled 8 Sacreds without getting a legendary, okay, from the last fusion event, yeah? So basically, I've got 94% chance, or I got that 6% chance in my first 4 shards. Then I go up to 8%, then 10%, and so on. I actually end up on my final shard. I'm going to have a 28% chance to get a legendary. So we multiply that up, and we multiply this by 100. Here we go. And then 100 minus 8.5. And I have a 91.5% chance with 15 shards here. 91.5% chance that I will get at least 1 legendary, and that will be doubled. So I feel like I've got a really good chance here. It is certainly not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed. Like, rough rule of thumb, let's say 1 out of 10 times tomorrow. If I was to repeat tomorrow over and over again doing this pull, 1 out of 10 of those times, I would not get it. It's a rough rule of thumb for what's going on. So I'm quite comfortable with pulling these shards, but it really all depends on how many sacreds you have and what you're willing to do. So this is an event for me that is much more geared towards spenders. Much more geared towards spenders, where if you can buy lots of shards and just keep pulling and you're fine doing so, then you can get away with this. If you are a free-to-play player, if you are an earlier game player, I feel like this is very dangerous. Bear in mind, next week, this upcoming weekend is a 10 times event with nothing going on. Not that intriguing. But I believe the following weekend is going to be a 2 times sacred. And then I think it's also, and that 2 times sacred event, I think is highly likely to be part of a fusion. It's going to be a difficult fusion. I think it's highly likely there's going to be a 2 times sacred event and a 10x event during that fusion or fragment. And you're going to want lots of sacreds for that. So really be careful. Seriously be careful. That's very likely to happen after this. So you're going to be fine. Like, you can totally save your sacreds for 2x sacreds. It's not going to be quite as good as this event, I think, if you're close to your mercy. Like, I'm close enough to mercy, so I think I'm going to risk it. I will calculate. Let me actually calculate it up. Yeah, so there, if I do like a rough guess, right? So in a 2x event, you're going to double your chance. You're going to have a 12% chance. So with that 12% chance, and again, you're expecting that your mercy timer would reset during it as well. You'd expect on average at 15 shards, on average to get 1.8 legendaries, roughly speaking. So it works out fairly similarly, right? It does work out fairly similarly to get, you know, on average you're going to get this many. So there you go. It's pretty tight. It's pretty close. I think you're fine, really, saving for the 2x event. There's no harm doing that if that's what you want to do. So look, it's up to you. You're going to get more legendaries on average pulling during the double event right now. Coming up tomorrow, you'll get more legendaries, but you need a lot of shards. And if you do not hit legendary during this event tomorrow, you're really messing yourself over. And really be careful of your shards for upcoming events. Like, seriously do. Like I said as well, I think there's a good chance. Actually, I don't think I said. I think there's a good chance for a guaranteed champion from Sacreds coming soon as well. I think that's very likely. Seriously, what they just did with Ancient Shards, they just did it. They had a double legendary event, then they had a guaranteed legendary event, then they had the 2x event. I would not be surprised if we see the same thing with Sacred Shards. We now have a double for Sacred Shards, then next week, maybe during Clan v Clan, 15 Sacred Shards for a guaranteed legendary, and then that weekend, 2x event for Sacred Shards that is also part of a fusion, followed by the next weekend a 10x event that is part of a fusion that you're going to want Sacred Shards for. I think all of these things together, for me, that's coming together. I think it's super likely, in fact, because if I was Plarium, I was trying to get people to buy as many Sacred Shards as possible, that is what I would do. That's what I would do, because you know in this double legendary event, people are going to pull chasing those champions, and they're going to pull more shards than they planned. Might happen to me. I might get caught out. We shall see. But guys, I'll see you tomorrow for my Sacred Shards. Let me know what you're going to do. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope this video is interesting and helpful. Hopefully it wasn't too long, because I think it's important info to get out there. I hope you found it helpful. Give it a thumbs up if you did, guys. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.